Hey everyone, Catch 'em All Collectibles here. In today's video, I'm going to discuss the 9.1 billion cards, Pokemon cards that were printed in fiscal 2021. Fiscal 2021 is the period from March 2021 to March 2022. And the reason that we know this is because Pokemon themselves told us. This is their corporate website. It's all in Japanese, but it is translated to English, so some of the words might look weird. But anyways, if you go to it, you go to About Us, there's a Pokemon and Numbers tab, and then you scroll down. They talk about how many video games they shipped, how many, the cumulative number of manufactured sheets, and it shows 432 100 million. Really weird way, something to do with being lost in translation. Anyways, what it works out to be, 43.2 billion cards have cumulatively been printed since Pokemon's inception. Here's an E4 post that I made. So it's always been in the minds of everybody. How many cards were printed total, which we know, but what's the breakdown? People don't want to just know how many have been printed total, how many were printed in base set, how many were printed in this, whatever set is of interest to you. If you're an EX era person, you want to know how many cards were in each set, how many boxes were printed. We'd also like to know how many still exist. Pokemon has no way of knowing how many have been opened. But anyways, throughout the years, Pokemon updates this number. Every year since 2017, they've given us the official corporate number on their website. Unfortunately, between 1999 to 2017, the data is very murky. This is a post that I made on E4 back in 2018, where I tried elaborating on kind of parsing out the data that they did provide us, charting it and splitting it amongst each set. And it goes on. It was a work in progress that I posted 4 years ago. I need to revisit it at some point. I've done a bit more on it since this E4 post through Patreon, and I'll show you a little bit of that. You have to join the Patreon, link below, to get the full amount of data that I shared. I do have a live document that I update from time to time with the per set estimates and how many chase cards of each set were produced as well. But anyways, so much data. Hours and hours and hours of time went into making this post. Many more hours went into making this live document. You can see right here, back in September of 2021, I did a print run presentation in Patreon with Jake, Pokenomics Patreon. I'm not going to scroll up because it would show everything. But anyways, at the top here, assumptions are made. What percent of cards are printed in English? What percent of cards make it into boosters versus like pre-constructed decks, battle arena decks, theme decks? What else do they call it? V-battle decks. Anyways, once we get down here, I'm showing everything from battle styles to current. In March of 2021, we had 34.1 cumulatively printed billion. In March of 2022, it's 43.2. Doing the math, 9.1 billion cards printed in the past year. If you were to just average that across the 6 sets, that's about that were, well, and that's where it gets really murky, because like roughly cards sets are in print for about 2 years. So if they're printing 9.1 billion cards in a year span, it's like a trailing 2 years worth of sets they're printing. Not every set is printed proportionally. Assumptions are made on how they're distributed. The further back you go, the harder it is to do, but I did my best. Let's break down battle styles alone. Assuming that 1.5 billion cards went into that set, assuming that this split on English and booster product happened, that would be 78 million booster pack equivalents. If they all went into booster boxes, which they don't, because you have the check lane blisters, you have ETBs, you have collection boxes with one battle styles pack in it. UPCs, I think, had a battle styles pack in them. But if they all went into booster boxes, that would be about 2 million booster boxes. That's how many are printed. Was it 1 million booster boxes were printed? Did half of it approximately go into booster boxes, with the rest going into collection boxes? Who knows? All assumptions. But either way, this is the estimated amount that would be booster pack equivalents. And with that, We know that there are 10 cards per booster. We know there are two-thirds. So 2/3 of an alternate art per box. This is a 2 per case assumption on pull rate. So if you're pulling 2 alternate arts per case, that's 2/3 of an alternate art per box. And there's 14 alternate arts in Battle Styles. That would equate to about 100,000 of each alternate art being printed for Battle Styles. So many layered assumptions made. If you join the Patreon and you get access to the spreadsheet, you can download it. You can change the numbers. Say, oh, I actually think they printed way more. That box is selling for $80 because they printed way more than that. Well, you can say 2.5 billion. And if you want to say, I don't think 65% of cards are English, I think it's 80%. Well, now we just went from having 100,000 chase cards in Battle Styles. We changed our assumptions, and now it's 200,000 per chase card. So making some different changes here can drastically affect your results, but like all the math has worked out for you if you want to get the spreadsheet. So definitely check out Patreon. I'm also work in progress, Magic, MetaZoo, sorting the chase cards by rarity, by era, because one thing that people would love to know, I took my best stab at it. How many level X's were printed back in Diamond and Pearl Stormfront? How many gold stars were printed in EX Deoxys? This spreadsheet gives my best estimate towards each. Let me know in the comments below. I won't make this entire spreadsheet public. This took me dozens of hours to put together. I think $10 a month through the Patreon to access this amount of deep dive data and discussion is worthwhile. And if you don't, you can do the work yourself and make your own spreadsheet, or you can, I guess, take what I give for free on YouTube here. Either way is fine. But yeah, if you want me to do a bit more, I was talking in Discord the other day. People want between Discord a little bit and then the comment section in one of my YouTube videos, I think, talking about like a rarity tier list or a print run tier list on which sets were printed the most. I don't know if S tier would be like base unlimited and Evo because they were printed the most, or if those would be like F tier because they were printed the most. Either way, doing kind of a tiered ranking for my presumed print runs. I could share something a bit more vague, public like that. So if you want to see a video like that, let me know and I can work on that in the coming weeks. But anyways, that's kind of a teaser for the Patreon, teaser for this spreadsheet that I've created, along with like a little taste of what today's print runs could mean as far as chase cards go. When you up the chase cards, when you up a set like Chilling Reign to 23 alt arts, you see that even if it has the same print run, the number of each specific chase card goes down significantly because you're spreading it across so many more. But for the second half of this video, what I really wanted to do, when I saw 9.1 billion cards were printed, that really blew my mind. There are less than that many humans on the planet. Pokemon literally printed enough Pokemon cards to give every single person in the world a card. A lot of those would be energies probably, and people would be very upset, but about 100,000 of them would get Sleepy Tyranitar from Battle Styles. So that's great. Those 100,000 people are happy. Maybe 1 billion or 2 billion of them are unhappy with their energy card. But anyways, I wanted to play around with this number. I love numbers. I love spreadsheets. So let's work through this spreadsheet, the calculations that I did. I have a tape measure here for measuring packages when I'm shipping UPS or whatever for calculating my rates. I've got a stack of cards. I pulled out the tape measure. I stacked up cards until it hit 1 inch. I wanted to see how many cards fit in 1 inch. 85. Foreign, international viewers, please plug your ears, cover your eyes. I'm going to talk about US units and how terrible they are. The engineer in me and wanting to be friendly to all of our international viewers. I also did this in metric, but there are 12 inches in a foot. I know it makes no sense. Further, there are 5,280 feet in a mile. Don't ask me where it came from. It just is what it is. So there's 85 cards per inch. Multiply it by 12. We get 1,020 cards in a feet. Multiply it by 5,280. A stack. This is height. So if you make a stack a mile high. That's only 5.3 million cards. We're talking billion with a B. Pokemon printed 9.1 billion with a B Pokemon cards. Crazy. If you do the math, 9.1 billion divided by 5.3 million, that is 1,000, a stack tall. If you went just stacked up all 9.1 billion cards, that is a stack of cards 1,690 miles high. If you do the weight, well, let me do metric quick for our international folks. In your units, what makes sense to you? 33 centimeters for 85 cards, 33 cards in a centimeter. 3,300 cards in a meter, 3.3 million in a kilometer. That is a stack of cards 2,719 kilometers high. If you're over in Europe, if you're somewhere else in the world, picture where you are and picture where 2,719 kilometers away is. I'm in New York. 1,690 miles gets you to like Kansas or maybe further, halfway across the country. So if I laid cards stacked like this in a long, like instead of having a 5-row box or instead of having a 1,000 count cardboard box, if I just stacked 9.1 billion cards, it would go to Kansas from New York. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Weight. By weight, if you do the math, one card weighs, I actually went with my gram scale for weighing packs, for weighing those packs that I sell. I do have rocket heavy packs left. I do have jungle heavy packs left and fossil heavy packs left. If you want to buy any of those, hit me up. You're going to lose money if you buy them and open them probably, but I'm here. 10% chance you'll make money. Anyways, 1.83 grams for one card. 9.1 billion cards is 16.6 billion grams. Divide that by a million because your units make sense. There's 1,000 grams in a kilogram. There's 1,000 kilograms in a metric ton. So very easy math for all you Americans. Divide it by a million, 16,653 tons, metric tons of Pokemon cards. And if we convert that to terrible units, one Pokemon card is 0.0646 ounces. That is AVDP of, I don't even know how to say it, ounces, not fluid ounces, not troy ounces. We're not weighing silver or gold, we're weighing Pokemon cards. So that is 587 million ounces of cards. That is 587 million ounces of cards, 36 million pounds of cards, 18.35 tons, US tons, not the same thing. 2,000 pounds versus 1,000 kilos, different. Crazy, mind-blowing amount. Just to conceptualize like what the weight of that is, I guess I could have equated it to like, I guess we can look up like what a car weighs or, but one thing I did want to show, I pulled up an article. There was this article that went around several months ago. 7.6 tons of cards, fake Pokemon cards, were seized out of a shipment from China. And the article like blew up and everyone was talking about it for a little bit there, it seemed, a day or two. But I did the math then, and I think I posted it in Discord. I'm like, that's only a few hours of production of real cards. That was when I was figuring off of a past year's production of 3 or 4 billion cards. Now that we're doing 9 billion cards a year, assuming that they were printed around the clock, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, that seizure of fake Pokemon cards was only about 4 hours worth of the continuous production Pokemon does. Mind-blowing. And hit the wrong button. So yeah, here's the article that I was talking about. Customs officials had seized 7.6 tons of fake Pokemon cards that were headed to Europe. People were talking about it as if it was like such an ungodly amount of cards. And I'm like, come on, guys, this is a few hours worth of production. Given that Pokemon, probably like Millennium Print Group, probably takes holidays to some extent. Maybe they run 24/7, 365. I kind of doubt it. Anyways, if they do, it's 4 hours worth of production. If they take off holidays, it would be even slightly less. And where I wanted to go from there, one last thing, and we'll look at how heavy a car is. Let me write down that 18,000 number so we can keep that context. 18,000 tons. I did stacking cards. What if we put the Pokemon cards end to end? A Pokemon card is 3.5 inches long. So let's say end to end, how far could we go? End to end, I've got 3 cards here, and I'm already, if I go this close, I'm already covering the screen. If I go end to end with 9.1 billion cards, that would be 1,000 million billion. That'd be 31.8 billion inches long. This is kind of reminding me of James's video. Shout out ZNG Emporium. He did a video talking about big numbers, about Elon Musk's net worth. And he kind of turned each dollar into a second. And go check out his video, James ZNG Emporium. He showed how if each of Elon Musk's dollars, or maybe he did Jeff Bezos, if each of their dollars was a second, how long in history would you have to go? How far back in history would you have to go for 100 billion seconds or 200 billion seconds? I don't even know how much those guys are worth. I don't remember the number. I did watch a video, James. I just forget the exact number. Anyways, back to my video. 31.85 billion inches long, divided by 12, divided by 5,280, because we're sticking with US units for this one. That is 502,000 miles of Pokemon cards. A very frequent thing in the hobby. We talk about rocket emojis and moon emojis. We talk about rocket ships to the moon. The first idea I had for how do I conceptualize how long 500,000 miles is, I'm like, I think that will take us to the moon. So Google stepped in. The moon is only 238,900 miles away. If we stack the Pokemon cards they printed last year end to end, we could not only go to the moon, where we're all always trying to go, we could go around the moon and come back and touch back down on Earth and have another 20,000 miles of Pokemon cards. That's probably enough to circumnavigate the globe. Circumference of Earth is, yeah. So we could go to the moon, around it and back, and we could circumnavigate the globe. Crazy. 9.1 billion cards is a lot of cards. Mind-blowing. Let me know if this video was of interest to you. If it was, please like and subscribe for more content. Friday, I'm going to do a video on CGC. Are they grading easier? The car thing. How much does a car weigh? How much does a car weigh? I almost forgot to check back on that. So an average weight of a car is about 1 point. I was going to say, I didn't want to sound stupid if I said it completely wrong. I was going to say 1 to 2 tons. So depending on if you're looking at a subcompact SUV, that's, I drive a Kia Sportage. I think that's considered a compact SUV. Let's just take a ton because it's easier. It's round, I guess. That's 18,000 cars. That's, I mean, 18,000 tons, a car being approximately a ton. That is 18,000 cars. I guess that's not a great approximation because that's just an obscene amount of Pokemon cards that were printed in 2021. I've said it a few different ways here. Hopefully the moon demonstration was a bit interesting or useful to kind of conceptualize how many cards were printed. Yeah, I blew my mind when I went through all the numbers here, and just a fun little exercise. Definitely eBay affiliate link below at no cost to you. You can support the channel. Pokenomics Patreon, if you want to get really deep dive information on print runs and all that, that's there. And yeah, as always, I appreciate you all watching, and I will catch you all later.